Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign 2026 is going to make you into someone completely new. So much of your life circumstances are going to change, and it's changing in a very rare way, in a way we haven't seen for about 35 years. And so this is an exciting year for every Capricorn, and I can't wait to dive into this 25 to 30-minute overview of some of the most important things you need to pay attention to in the year ahead. Now, if you're listening for your sun sign, you can consider that most apt to, connect you with career and purpose matters. If you're listening for your rising sign, then it's the simulation avatar, and it is usually the most circumstantially accurate. And if you want to listen today for your moon sign, it's how you think and feel about your life, but it also represents your home and your nest and where you live. If you're new here as well and you haven't heard about me before, my name is Lori Lothian, and I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac. And of course, this is not sidereal astrology. We're going to talk today in general terms about the big things that are going on for you. Because not only, and by the way, if you want to know anything about me, it's in my description box below the video. There's a new you being created. I called it a whole new you. You're going to have some changes, likely positive in your finances, as well as some of you a relocation, as well as some love stories percolating in the sky as well. These are very powerful energies because each of these things is happening in relatively rare cyclical ways. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this is a thumbnail for the graphic on YouTube, but I've created it here for you to screenshot as well. So that should you, by any desired here, let's make it bigger. If you want to keep this as a handy meme during your year ahead, these are the things that you're going to be focused on. Now, and this is a general bell curve reading. This is not your personal chart. Remember that. And if you want to time your best life in 2026 with a 2+ hour video, then that product is for sale underneath my description box under my video. And you can get one for your sun, moon, and rising. Buy the bundle. It's not too expensive. It's $55 for over 24 hours of video content, downloadable and more. So go check it out below. This is the overview. I picked the 4 things I think are the most crucial. Now, I'm going to move away from this to talk to you again, but I want to mention something else. What makes this an extraordinary whole new you vibration is because we're having a triple conjunction of Mars, Venus, and the Sun in the first week of January in your sky, in the sign of Capricorn. And this is a good part of the sky for you because Mars exalts you when he's here. And in that regard, you're pretty happy about it. You're like, yay, my exaltation planet who turbocharges me into powerful decision, commander-in-chief, this action-taking, choosing energy and motivating you and willpowering you up. It's taking a huge stance on your behalf in 2026. He's moving into that part of your sky that represents your sun, Capricorn sun, your vitality, your career, your purpose, your deeper sense of self, your moon, that home and nest, and your emotions and mind. And then, of course, the rising sign, your character in the simulation. And Mars is going to activate a conjunction to the sun. This is happening on January 9th. Venus will do the same thing on January the 6th. Mars and Venus will co-join on January the 8th. It's incredible. And that vibration of all this happening is a reinvention of your identity. Now, because it happens in what we call the first house, and that's true if it's your sun or moon, because we pretend your moon or sun in Capricorn is in your first house. It's called derived houses. It means that it also spills over to where you live, to whom you're with, like in love and relationship, and what you wish to do in career and profession. And Venus is the ruler of your career and profession house, which is the Libra sky. And so when she resets with the sun here in Capricorn, she's quite capable of reshifting or moving you into new professional directions. Because also Mars rules your 4th house of home and property and land and where you live. And he's resetting in your sign on your behalf, squaring your 4th house of home. That's when we're also seeing, for many of you, quite a significant potential for a relocation. Now, Mars is delivering this relocation promise, not just in 2026, but all the way through to the end of 2027. This is a part of a 2-year story for you. Okay. Well, Venus is trying to work her magic in the first year after this January till the end of the year in some professional developments, our career possibilities and shifts and change. And because both of them are hitting the sun and looking across at your 7th house of committed love, and Venus is the goddess of love, and Mars is like, hey, let's get down and have some fun. Let's get sexy time going. I think that you might see this as a new filter for seeing relationship in a new way, or maybe even a call to bring in a new relationship, a romantic love story, because Venus rules your fifth house of romantic love. And so all of this is exciting and very rare and pretty cool, because if you want to make a comparison, when Mars last did this kind of conjunction in concert with Venus, it was 1993 December. And it unfolded through calendar year of 1994 and 1995. Now, it's not the same as it was then, because some of you are going to say, oh no, my life fell apart back then. Like, your life could have. It's a whole new you. But it's also this time around, it's being watched over by a Jupiter in his exaltation in your seventh house. So the witnessing of Jupiter across the way is likely to make it better than it might have been in like 94 and 1995. I'm only going to cross my fingers on your behalf, because I know that some of you might look back to that time without Jupiter's blessings and think that it was a rough patch, because no one likes to completely upheaval and change their life, and things go inside up and upside down. Such an intense combination of conjunctions all happening in the very first week, or like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th of January. Now, and rolling out for a year and 2 years. Now, the other thing I want you to pay attention to here is that with this reset button taking place, you also have been dealing with Chiron. Ever since 2019, the wounded one did enter into your house of home, property, real estate, and land and domicile. And the wound is there. And usually the Chironic wound is the outcast, feeling like you don't belong. You're the outsider. You're the outcast from your own home. Now, sometimes that could mean that you were cast out of your home. Other times it could mean that you just don't belong. Wherever you've been living, you don't feel like you fit, or you don't fit in somehow to the city, the town, the neighborhood. Maybe you just have a wound about having a home, right? Not everybody has a home. And so hopefully that's not you, that you're homeless. But in 2027, Chiron leaves there for good in your wounded home, but also he takes a hiatus like May, June, July as well. So you're going to have a timeout corner where the wound is less, right? The wound will be less intense. And at the same time, with the reset button of Mars in your first house, in your Capricorn sky, sun, moon, and rising placement, then that opens up a double door to a new home. Like, it's like, let's move, let's relocate, let's go somewhere. Now, if you're going to do the move, and you may, I would suggest you wait until at least after the 17th of March, because Mars will still be invisible. Venus will be invisible to the 17th of February. Both of those dates indicate it's best not to do anything to do with a massive career change, start a new romance, move your home, until the planets are showing their faces in the sky, in the morning sky again, just before the sun rises. So this is an important piece of advice for you, because it will probably be that there are things about the house, the romance, the career path that you might want to go toward that are invisible to you, and you can't quite see everything you need to see. And so you're going to make decisions perhaps that are, premature, and maybe not based on having all the information or an understanding that you'll need to make those decisions. So just wait a little bit. Mars is also the ruler of your house of career gains, particularly the money you make professionally from a path of work. And he also is the owner of your house of friends and social groups. A lot of your friendship circles, social groups, and earning style are going to change professionally. And the people you hang with, the people you call friends, the people who you look up to help you, they can be benefactors as well. That part of your sky has Mars's, storyline, the Scorpio 11th house. And so I would kind of say it's probable that in the next year or two, you're going to have a massive change in friendship groups and circles. There's going to be it's not going to look like anything that you've seen before. It's going to be like a whole new crew, right? Maybe it's because you're moving. Because when we move, we often get into a new social circle because we meet people in our new location. Now, let's talk about the other stories. We talked about the whole new you and the relocation story. We also have a potential increase of money and love story. Both of them are connected to the same story, which is Jupiter, the greater benefic, Santa Claus, fairy godfather, call him what you will. He tries his best to bring the good stuff to us. And Jupiter is going to be moving through your seventh house, which is your relationship house. Or you could bring in spiritual teachers, and you can also bring in people who are wealthy to help you. as Jupiter moves through that part of your sky. And that's been true that Jupiter's been there since last summer, since June, and he leaves in July of next year in 2027. Actually, he leaves on June 30th. And having him in this Cancer sky in his exaltation, for some of you, can lead to the end of a significant committed love relationship. And you're probably going, wow, I thought he was Santa Claus. He is, but he's also the kind of guy who gets rid of the thing that is no longer needed. Like he's a health check, hey, the relationship's looking like it's got a, bad case of, I don't know what, a bad case of something, right? And we don't want this here anymore. It's not good for you. Let's remove it. Let's fix it. So some of you, this Jupiter story could have removed you from a relationship sometime since last June, or still be trying to pry you away from something that's not right for you. However, Jupiter will go direct on March the 11th. And when he goes direct, if you have a relationship that's kind of wobbly, it will definitely have a clear direction one way or the other by March 11th. Keep it or leave it. That's the story, right? Married, living together, don't care. That's going to be the new direction. But if you're single and Jupiter's retrograde, could mean some partners from the past, some former romantic or committed love partners, probably cohabitational or significant long-term committed love, can come back. And that's true all the way through until March the 11th, until he turns direct. And finally, if you have a Jupiter retrograde here, is the house of a sibling, 3 younger or 3 older, and there could be prosperity coming your way from that sibling, 3 younger or 3 older, through until Jupiter leaves here on June the 30th. Now, you can make some comparisons to the past when Jupiter has been in your 7th house, and he was back in your 7th house in historical time on, I'm looking at my numbers for you. Give me a sec. He was in Cancer June 13th. June of 2013 to July of 2014. Okay. He was also in your marriage house, July of 2001 to August of 2002. So those are the last times this happened. And this is finishing up this year. We'll be back for 12 more years. And, when Jupiter is in the 7th house, you can get a lot of luck. If you work with an audience, a marketplace, clients, public, you have fans or an audience, this can expand your reach, increase your fortunes through those mechanisms as well. So it would be a good placement for you if that's something that you're up to. And as Jupiter is moving through your 3rd house in 7th house in 2026 through till the end, June 30th of that time frame, he's also going to come into a kind of healing of the chironic wound that you have at the bottom of your chart, because he will square that wound 3 times. So he's already done it last year. Then he's retrograding back to square. The square will probably be coming through around late December, early January. He squared the chironic wound of home and belonging. And then he'll pass over that chironic wound again. Probably it will be around, late February, early March. No, sorry, got that wrong. It will be closer to May. Okay. So Jupiter's trying to help you move on from the wound of where to live or what you're doing in the home. Sometimes a chironic wound in the home is just woundedness in the home. You're not going to move anywhere. You love your house. You're going to stay. Okay, fine. But then what is it? Childhood wounds? Chiron represents childhood wounds. You're trying to heal this stuff since 2019. Jupiter's really going to push you to get to it already. And he can bring you knowledge, teachers, teachings, books, information that helps you clean up the childhood stuff that may have wounded you, and you're healing it at this time of your life. And a mother wound in particular. If you have a mama wound, this is a time to heal it. Now, the next thing that we're going to see, and the last thing I want to talk about, is the money story. And that's because you have the energy going on here of Pluto, the god of wealth, traveling through your 2nd house of possessions and earnings. And over the next till 2044, you could become quite wealthy. This is a wealthy time for you. You can build significant wealth under this time frame. However, yes, you also have to have other planetary participants to help you out, and Jupiter is one of them. Jupiter will enter into your 8th house of chunky money, and he'll be coming through there in July, like say July 1st, and he's going to be moving through that part of your chunky money house, and I'll explain that in a minute, for a year until July of 2027. Now, this can often bring inheritances, and it can also bring money from divorces and separations, like spousal support and sharing the assets, dividing the assets. This can bring you money from your in-laws, if you have in-laws. And this is definitely a money transit. And most people don't get through it without some kind of unearned income coming to them. So, it's not your job, it's not your paycheck. It could be royalty income, it could be ad income, it could be money coming from tax rebates or insurance payouts or something like that, but chunks of money coming towards you. And that doesn't come to you. It's not available to you until we move into July of 2026. It's also connected to banking, loans, and mortgages and investments, going into the markets, investing in stocks and stuff like that. So Jupiter here can help support you in getting some of that stuff to work. And with Pluto across the way, you could be generating significant wealth through the investments that you choose to engage in once Jupiter arrives in that part of your chart. But until he's there, your investments might not be good. So be careful. I would wait till Jupiter arrives in your 8th house of investment monies. So that's going to happen, as I mentioned, July of this year to the end of the year and all the way through to July of 27. Now, Jupiter can bring you occult teachers, like I want to learn the tarot, numerology, astrology. This is the teacher and the educator in the house of the occult. So you might start to study, learn bodies of knowledge to do with the esoteric and the arcane. You also could find this as a very spiritual transit. There are 3 spiritual awakening houses in the zodiac. Okay. That's houses 12, 4, and 8. And 8 is how you liberate yourself spiritually from your egoic identity. And if you want to be like that caterpillar that becomes the butterfly, the little self expands into the vast, spacious, true self. Well, that kind of transit can bring it. But because Jupiter brings it through knowledge and wisdom, it's going to be, or a teacher is probably coming because of some book you're reading or some course you're taking or some spiritual teacher that's in your orb of influence already. I wouldn't think it's with Jupiter going to just download spontaneously. I think you're going to learn and you're going to transform spiritually under this influence. Now, I did mention the word inheritances, and I'll stick with that as well. When Mars resets his button on your 4th house, not only could you move, but he activates some legacy wealth from family of origin, people you grew up with kind of thing. And Pluto also suggests wealth can come from mom, dad, or siblings based on the 2nd house placement. So this is a year in which money from family members may come to you. Doesn't mean they have to die, but they might just want to pass money on, maybe a parental trust. I don't know. But money from the family could be coming your way, the family that you grew up with, not the family you make as an adult already. And finally, I think I'll finish up with the last story, which is that the goddess of love and money is going to finish up in your 11th house in October. And as she does that, she's in witness mode. She can see, your 5th house of romance. And so it could indicate a blossoming new love story that wants to emerge in the fall. And that could say October 24th, add 9.5 months. If you're looking for love, the doors of that love story may begin to open up for you around that time. And it's also the job opportunities for making money in your career. And she can open up doors of opportunity as well in that part of your sky. So thank you, Capricorn, for listening. And I'm going to draw a card. I forgot to. I'm sorry. We have one card that was supposed to be at the beginning and one card is supposed to be at the end. So this is your Carolyn Myths Oracle card. What archetype is playing through you in 2026? And we're also going to do the Urban Pro. I think that's the one I'm drawn to for you. And by the way, my All Signs bundles also have card draws in them for you. Okay, so you have the teacher archetype. It's so funny to see Jupiter moving through the teacher, your 7th house. I think you should be coming into contact with teachers, but you could also become a teacher. Let me explain. The light attribute is your ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom to the world. And your shadow attributes would be manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits, and destructive skills. Okay, teach only the good stuff. What part of you wants to be in teacher mode to some degree? It doesn't mean you have to go off and get a job at a school or, stand up there and say, I'm a teacher. But sometimes we teach things, what we speak, what we write, what we wish to tell people. That's what I got for you. And then let me see. Do I want the Urban Crow for you? I think so. So this is a card to talk about just another kind of zeitgeist of the year. What do you need to truly know? What is the best advice for you? as you move through this calendar year of 26, the Urban Crow has answers. Let's see what the Urban Crow tells you. All righty. Urban Crow, what is it? It's a fun deck. I love this one. All right, don't panic. It's survival. Now, that doesn't surprise me because Jupiter's going to ping Pluto on the money axis for you, right? And I put that money is new money sources, new prosperity will be coming to you. Rather than think about this as in a negative mode, I'm going to say, what do you need to do to create financial prosperity in a way that allows for the food, shelter, and water of life to be there for you, right? Because we need those things. That's going to keep us going. All right. This card calls your attention to how you are feeling about a situation. And are you hunkered down, waiting for the threat to be over, or are you moving along, doing your best in life to find a path out of difficulties? When we're in our survival mode, our possibilities are limited by a creative mind solely focused on getting through a difficult situation. It is in this place that we are not thinking about future opportunities, as the decisions we make are done so to simply release immediate pain. So panicky, right? Because of this, we risk accepting a quick fix that will limit our growth. All right. So you do have a huge money activation with Jupiter coming through midway through the year. So if you have any worry or concern or fret about money, don't worry, because Jupiter will fix the problem. Trust me on that. But you have to wait till he gets there. And that's not until July. All right. So hang in there. Don't make decisions based on anxiety, fear, or panic on the money front. Thanks for listening, Capricorn. Hit the like bell, subscribe, please. Hype the video. There's a new feature. It really helps to hype the video. And if you look in the description box below, you'll see everything about me. Pluto Chronicles Substack, free weekly and monthly newsletter, where I'm writing all about world events there without worrying about being demonetized or shadow banned. I'm also talking about Patreon community. I teach classes. Come join me. And of course, you might want to get the longer format video created by you as my yearly fundraiser, so I can create a scholarship fund for students who can't afford to learn with me. I teach astrology, as well as helping me get equipment and staff to help me with this business called astrology. Thanks, guys. Big hugs. I'll see you on the other side of reality. Bye.